But as far as our own experience, like you said, 15,000 emails we've run so far, and I've actually had 24 positive responses as of today. So this is 24 people raising their hands saying they want more information about what I do. The majority of those have already been booked into a meeting. Several of those meetings have turned into clients. We're already taking some of those clients and bringing them over to you. So the whole ecosystem is working out
That's
really,
awesome.
really well.
What's going on, guys? Andre Hakel Jr. here from ListKit, here with one of our clients, Morgan. How's it going, my friend?
Fantastic. Good talking to you today, Andre.
Likewise. Well, I'm pumped to learn more about you and your business and some of the results you've been seeing with ListKit's done for you cold email setup offer. And so you filled out the form for this meeting a couple days ago. And from what I'm seeing here, so far you've sent around 15,000 emails, which lines up with our base package, which right now is priced at $600 a month. And from those sent emails, you've seen 21 interested leads come into your inboxes, which is an awesome start. And so today I just want to learn all about your business, your cold email strategy, the results you've seen so far outside of just the numbers, and then your plans to expand it from there. So if you could just do a quick intro of you and your business, and then we'll get into the cold email stats.
Yeah, my business is Power 22 Marketing. We do business to consumer as well, but we're really, really deep in the business to business marketing space. And, through that, we had identified a few niches that our service specifically really, really works well with. And so after identifying those, kind of like servicing just about everybody who would raise their hand and, write us a check to do marketing, we've really honed in on it. And, one of those is in the mergers and acquisition space. Another one of them is in the software space, and another one in the e-commerce space. So the challenge obviously is to find those companies when the timing is right to get them to raise their hand and want to know more information about the marketing system that we do. Interestingly enough, focusing on B2B companies, and we're a B2B company, we literally utilize the exact same platforms, tactics, and software that we utilize for our own lead gen, we utilize for our clients. So it's a real win-win situation. So we had been doing LinkedIn outreach, pseudo-automated connection campaigns with LinkedIn outreach, and we really wanted to expand outside of that. That was working well, but first of all, not every business is on LinkedIn. Not every business is active on LinkedIn. So how do you get the entire ecosystem, the entire universe of the B2B space? Well, cold email is probably the tried and true, Trojan of that area. It's what's always worked and what still works. That being said, there's some key factors involved in that, right? You got to be executing on really good data, right? So is your data clean? What does that mean in an email campaign? Do we get low bounce rates? Are we getting inboxed? Probably two of the most important things right there. So you want to keep your bounce rate low, want to make sure you're being inboxed, and then obviously it doesn't work and isn't effective. Well, two things that came about when working with ListKit. First of all, I was so impressed with your onboarding process. I think I shared with you just a few moments ago. We've actually implemented a few of your SOPs into our SOPs just because it was so smooth and it was such a great experience. Not only that, we've also brought on some of our clients already over to ListKit in the white label opportunity you guys have as well. But as far as our own experience, like you said, 15,000 emails we've run so far, and I've actually had 24 positive responses as of today. So this is 24 people raising their hands saying they want more information about what I do. The majority of those have already been booked into a meeting. Several of those meetings have turned into clients. We're already taking some of those clients and bringing them over to you. So the whole ecosystem is working out really,
awesome.
really well. The copy that you guys helped us develop for the actual email campaigns with A, B, C, D testing, phenomenal, right? And it just plain works, right? So if you get inboxed, so if your tech's right in the back and you're working with a partner like ListKit that knows what the hell they're doing, they're cleaning your data really, really well. I think you guys do a triple verification on it, which is like fantastic. I think my bounce rate is like at 1.38, like super low, like ridiculously low. And everything seems to be working really well. Your data is being updated daily. I'm actually playing around now with the interest. I think it's the interest one, right? Where you're
The
actually
intent
pulling
data,
people that have done Google searches in the last 24 hours on these keywords. So we're actually onboarding a client that's in the software space to utilize that particular feature. So I'm excited to see that work. But it's been a great experience so far. It's brought me leads. I see an ROI. I mean, really everything you could ever ask for in a lead generation partner. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you for the kind words and feedback, Morgan. And I'm pumped to hear that the team's delivering and the system is working. And some of the elements you pointed out earlier resonate with what we've seen ourselves because our own growth story as well. I love to hear when you use your own product to grow your own business because we've done the same thing. We use cold email ourselves to grow. We use our own leads to grow. We use our own strategies, and so we know they work. And we're no different than most other businesses, especially B2B, right? So you mentioned a couple of things that are important for a cold email system to work. You have to be B2B, and then you have to know your ICP or who you're targeting or wanting to reach out to. And as you've come to find out, being in business as long as you have, e-commerce and some of these other industries, right? Those are the ones that respond best to your marketing services. And so having a tool like ListKit, where not only can you filter on the types of businesses, the industries they're in, the keywords that match their LinkedIn profile, but also the intent, as you mentioned. What have they searched for in the past 24 hours on Google? Are there specific search terms that match what you're selling? So our whole thing now is you can find new leads every single day that are searching for what you're selling and deliver a highly relevant email that they're most likely to respond to, at least over other cold emailers that are working with outdated, unverified, non intent data. And so, yeah, cold email is awesome. And we actually started with LinkedIn like you did. The problem we ran into with LinkedIn is it wasn't as scalable as cold email, right? Like you could only send so many connection requests per day.
yeah,
At one point in time, you could do like AI profiles, but then that got banned because now LinkedIn requires a verified profile. But with cold email, if you have something that works sending 15,000 emails a month, like you have with 24 interested leads, you can scale that to 150,000 emails per month or 1.5 million emails per month. And that's kind of what ListKit's done internally. And we've seen some of our clients slowly ramp up their volume as well and even
yeah.
bring other clients into the fold. So it's awesome. So my next question for you, Morgan, is like for people doing cold email, you mentioned a few things like knowing your target market super important, triple verifying leads so that the emails are delivering to the inbox and not bouncing is super important. But then the messaging, right? Not only is the messaging important, but testing to see what works for that specific channel. So out of those three things, like any advice to someone out there doing cold email on their own currently, whether it's with targeting, deliverability, or copywriting and messaging?
Well, I would say that if your bounce rate is not, below 5%, if you're running between 5 and 10%, switch right away and move over to ListKit because that's a huge factor, and eventually will really, really, it'll make your email boxes that you're sending from eventually unscalable. And so that part is super, super important. The amount of data that you guys are bringing into your platform on the daily basis, fresh data, especially the intent-driven data, is just, I mean, that's off the charts. If you're not executing on something like that in your business, you're missing a lot and you're leaving a lot of money on the table. But I would also say that if you're not doing cold email, you've got some sort of misconception or misnomer that it no longer works, that it's outdated, that it's an old school tactic. Yeah, it's an old school tactic. You know why? Because it works. It
Yeah.
works. Bottom line, all of us business owners, and that's who we're reaching out to in B2B typically, right? And everybody that's in business is in their inbox all day long, every day. That's where business is done. So getting there and getting there with a good message, with good copy is the key. I love the ABCD testing. Very few people will spend the amount of time it takes to do good copy and good testing. But if you do that heavy lifting on the front end, the back end of what comes out the back is always going to be better. One of the things that when I identify a vendor and I like, okay, I trust these people enough to give them my money. I also am going to trust their processes. So I didn't even touch a word of your copy that you gave to me during my onboarding process. Partially was like, okay, well, if I mess with this, then I can be blamed that it didn't work because I messed with it. Now I understand you're not fully responsible and you can't take responsibility of whether or not your copy is going to make or break somebody's campaign. Of course not. But there's just a lot more to talk about if I allow you guys to do your expertise and then stick with what I know on my end. Right now, if there was some egregious stuff like there was claims or something that were incorrect, but your onboarding process was really good. So the copy was generated from the onboarding questionnaire that I filled out about my ICP, right? So a couple of things that I really liked about that process is when I went through it, You guys dug into the psychology of the individual reaching out to, right? In mergers and acquisitions, perfect example. Short, sweet. They don't want too wordy. They don't want salesy. They want you to get straight to the freaking point. So short copy, not a lot of bells and whistles. Like, hey, here's what I've done for another company. Would you like me to do it for you? Basically, saying, keep it really, really simple. The videos that I've found doing the quick little Loom videos, which I think is in the third email of the 3 email sequence of mine, has proven, really, really good. What's nice about those is after I send somebody a short little email about our system and how it kind of works, it makes the initial discovery call even that much better and that more refined. So I don't think I would have done that if that wasn't a suggestion by you guys. And obviously you're suggesting it because, it works and it works. So,
Yeah,
I would say to anybody that's even considering working with you guys, first of all, trust the process. Allow them to do what they do because they're doing it on a much larger scale and they're seeing a lot more data than you are. And forget about your preconceived notions about cold email. It absolutely
it
works.
works. That's awesome, Morgan. And yeah, you pointed out like you sent 15,000 emails in the last month, but we've been doing cold email for so long and have built up a client base that's pretty decent size to the point where in the last week we've sent almost 4 million emails. And what that allows us to do is see what works at scale. So the reason we know these Loom videos work as a third step in the email sequence is because we've tested it enough. And the reason our copywriters know what works or what is likely to convert best or how to run a multi, A, B, C, and D test is because they've written so many forms of copy and we know what questions to ask in the onboarding form and how to turn those into words that'll convert in an email sequence. But I love what you said about I took what they wrote word for word and put it to test. That's what we always try to encourage clients to do is like let us do what we do best. Let us do what you paid us to do and see how it works. If it doesn't work or perform to your expectations, then let's go in and make the tweaks and changes. But at least give it a shot because a lot of clients will come in and we'll send them the scripts and they'll want to make all the different changes and lengthen it and make it sound more salesy and almost read like an ad. And we can only tell them so much of, hey, just trust the process. And
Yeah.
usually the ones who don't, they don't see the results and they come back, asking for help. And we just point them right back to what we originally helped them with. So I think that's awesome. I can clip that and send it to those exact clients saying, hey, thank you
Trust
for
the
working.
process. Let's go.
So awesome, man. I really appreciate you sharing your experience and highlighting some of the parts of the onboarding process you liked that we do. And I think there's some key learnings here for anyone thinking of doing cold email outreach. One, that it works and there's proof behind that. And also for it to work, you need some really key components. And just to recap, that's deliverability. You need triple verified leads because if your bounce rate's too high, not only are the emails that are bouncing not making it to the inbox, but all the other emails aren't either because they're being burned by your overall domain reputation due to too high of a bounce rate. The second is targeting, really knowing your ICP. Morgan can probably help every business owner out there, but because he's really dialed in on M&A and e-commerce and some other really niche ICPs, he can really speak to those person's pain points and also offer them a solution that he knows they need.
Yeah.
And then messaging, not just testing one message, but testing 4 variations of messaging and understanding that the best messaging in cold email is short and to the point and also involves some form of a lead magnet or an interactive element like a Loom video. So that's kind of the full strategy if we were to simplify it. What ListKit does, I think, better than anyone else on the market is it takes all the tech and the behind the scenes work that's required to put that system live and it takes it off your hands and it does it for you so you can focus on selling and growing the business. And so I'm happy to hear you got the value that we intended to deliver when we first created this service. Awesome. Well, Morgan, where can our audience find you and follow you and learn more about your business? Maybe you'll have a few clients in the audience watching here.
You know what? You can find me on LinkedIn, Morgan Haney on LinkedIn. The name of the company is Power 22 Marketing. So power22marketing.com, put Power 22 Marketing into your search engine, and we should own about 2/3 of the search page. So you should be able to find us pretty easy.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Morgan. Keep crushing it. And I can't wait to hear how cold email continues to positively impact your business and your clients' businesses as well.
Appreciate
Thanks
you,
for
Andre.
listening,
You guys
guys.
keep killing it over there for us. Love it.
All right.